Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group meeting. We're very glad you're with us. Let me pop on here. I can't see who all. Okay, just checking the participant list to see who's with us today. Thank you for being here, both in person and on Zoom and on Facebook. We have somebody on Facebook also. All right, today is November 4th, 2022. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories. We'll then go to our 30-second introduction so we know who everybody is. We'll then hear from our committee reports, workshop, job fairs, practice interview team, the interview success workshop, the career tip of the week. And then we will have our main event, which today happens to be open forum at the top of the hour. For those people on Zoom, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just put your questions into the Zoom chat window. For those watching on Facebook, please just put your any questions you have into the comment field. I'm monitoring that feed and we'll be sure to get that question answered for you. Let me get rid of a few little signs here. All right, let's see here. Next coming up, please, this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window do not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading this North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. The group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched the second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search You May Not Know. It's available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I usually have copies with me. I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. And you'll hear more about that in just a moment. Well, we like to start the meeting off with good news. Do we have any landings out there? Anybody have good news they would like to share? Going once, going twice. All right, well, I happen to hear from 4 different people the beginning of every month when I haven't seen anybody for 90 days. These are all past people who were part of our group. And just sort of like disappeared and didn't say anything. So Deborah Baker got a job as a project manager at the North Texas Food Bank. Alyssa Schultz got a job at Z Omega as a HR coordinator. Kristen Terry got a job at Constant Contact as a sales consultant. And David Hogan got a vice president's job at MasterCard. So that makes 37 landings so far out of this group this year that I'm aware of. So even when we don't hear from you after 90 days and you just sort of disappear, I'm still going to reach out and try to find people that are out there. So if you got, when you land, when you get your success story, please let us know. All right, what we'd like you to do right now is we'd like everybody in the Zoom chat window, for those on Zoom, put in your name, comma, phone number, comma, email address, comma, position you're looking for, comma, 2 or 3 target companies, and then hit the return key. If you'd like to do that on Facebook, please go ahead and do that. I will go delete that information as soon as this meeting's over, so it won't be hanging out there. I'll copy it over. I will put all these, everybody's contact information into the Zoom chat window, into an email that I will put out this afternoon that will have all the details and all that information in it. So by doing that, and for those people that are here in person, we'll get your information added to the list also. I use this to update the roster. And when I update the roster, we'll make sure that you get part of our groups.io to get our mailings every week. And also, if you're using this for a Texas workforce or a workforce solutions meeting, wherever you're located at, I'll have records for that. So let me put 30 seconds on the clock and we'll let those people online get their information in. Whoops. All right, so please put your contact information in there. That way we know who you are, what you do, and how you can help people, because you never know who's on the call and who can help everybody. What I want to do is for those people that are here in person, we're going to allow them to do their 30-second reductions. So let me get their camera up so y'all can see them. Let's see here, spotlight. I got to click on this. All right, let me pass the mic out.
Good morning, everybody. My name is David Carey. I am a learning and development expert. I have led teams of up to 25 people in the pursuit of helping employees to connect with their organization's objective, to do it effectively, and to understand what's expected of them in their role and to be excited about it. My target companies are Atlassian and Salesforce, and I'm really excited to be here this morning. Again, my name is David Carey. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Archery. I'm a senior retail manager / merchandiser. And my target companies are the federal government, Acostas, and Advantage Solution. Again, Anthony Archery.
Hi, I'm Adair Claycomb. I'm trying to figure out where I have a background in medical devices on the technical side, and I am looking to transition into a regulatory affairs or project manager type role. I currently do not have any target companies. Adair Claycomb.
Morning, everybody. My name is Ernesto Weber. I am a software test engineer. I help companies to find the bugs in their software before their customers do. Currently don't have any target companies. My name is Ernesto Weber.
All righty. Well, thank you all very much. Let me come back, grab the mic. All right. So for everybody else, please put your information in the chat window. That way we'll get all this information out. You'll get the email this afternoon, and we'll know who you are. And look over that list when you get that email this afternoon, because if you can help somebody who's on the list with a contact that you may have, that would be greatly appreciated. All right. If you know somebody who's recently unemployed, the job numbers came out this morning a little bit higher than they expected. But if you know somebody who's recently being laid off, if you know somebody who works at Twitter, they may be able to benefit from this information shortly. Career DFW and Career USA, two totally free websites that are out there. Right on the very front page, if you know somebody who just lost their job, what do they do now? They can click right there. We've got a great one-page handout about that. Also on the Career DFW website, we have a number of calendars that have networking groups that are meeting in person, networking groups that are meeting online, job fairs that are in pink. The gold are all the special workshops that are happening during the week. So if you, if you're living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're trying to find something to do during the day or during the week, please check out the calendars. All right, we want to talk a little bit about the practice interview team, the Dallas Pick Crew. This is a great way to practice your interviewing skills. Number one, it's totally free. Okay, there is no cost to do this. The nice thing about this is you're getting an interview, and the most important thing is you're getting feedback from the crew. The Dallas Pick Crew consists of around 30 or 35 former hiring managers. If you've been a former hiring manager and you'd like to be part of the group who does these interviews, just let them know. Their motto is practice early, practice often. It really is important that you practice. Your LinkedIn profile and your resume are not going to get you a job. All they do is they get you a phone call. How well you practice your interview skills, that's what's going to get you your next job. So you want to reach out to the Dallas Pick Crew at dallaspickcrew@gmail.com. You need to send them a resume and a job description, and you're scheduled 2 to 3 to 4 days out so they can send your information out to everybody and to all the people on the Pick Crew. And then a couple people will go and sign up. You'll have a panel interview. It'll be about 40 to 45 minutes. Then you'll have about 15 to 20 minutes of feedback. It is recorded, so you can go back and watch it after the fact. Only you'll see it. Nobody else is going to see it. This is just a recording just for you to be able to go back and evaluate how you did. Like I said, how well you practice your interview skills is going to make all the difference in your next job. All right. If you'd like to also schedule a one-way interview. So this is where you get a link and you open up the link and it says you have 3 minutes to answer the following question, or 2 minutes, or whatever they happen to set up, or you can have as much, some of them give you as much time, but it's a one-way interview. It's you talking to your computer. There's nobody else there. So this is a one-way interview offered by many companies. We've had a software company who's given us free use of their package so that you can practice. Just send a request to Walt Glass or myself, and we'll be glad to schedule you with a one-way interview. You ask us for the link, we'll send you the link. You can then, we'll sign you up. You go take the interview. When the interview is over, when you've answered the questions, we then get notified. We will then send you the link so you can watch it. We don't go back and watch it. Nobody else will see it. The link is just there for you to evaluate how well you did. You can do it multiple times if you'd like. So just another way to be able to do things. All right. Well, I see Walt's on the line. So Walt, how's your voice doing? Are you going to talk to us in person today?
I'm going to give it a shot.
All right.
I don't have COVID. I don't have flu, but a URI, it's through and through. I live alone, but I'm going to wear a mask so I won't catch it. Oh, maybe I don't need it. Well, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my voice is still a little bit affected by this, and I'm still coughing a little bit, so I'll be going in and out today on the session. The interview success workshop is also free. You're going to get a video of the interview, you're going to get a handout, and you're going to get a video, a handout, and some other files. And so there's a 20% surcharge to get the handouts and the extra files. But nonetheless, would you like to improve your interviewing skills in selling who you are, what you do, and how you can help? The 3 elements that companies are buying. So just how do we do that? So I offer the interview success workshop, and it gives us a chance to practice and learn how to sell the I am, I do, I help elements. You have to be registered to attend. Just look me up on LinkedIn under Walt Glass. You can see some more information in the About section. That QR code that you see on the screen will start an email to me through my Yahoo email address so that you can register, and I can give you some dates. Now, right now, I'm booked up until December, so get in line. I would still like to have people sign up, even though it might be a few weeks away. The idea about the workshop is to be very informal. While you're practicing, it is not a mock interview. Here, we are not striving to make you sweat and have anxiety and stress. We're just there to learn, put our learning hats on and see how we can improve ourselves. We also want to learn how to differentiate ourselves in a very positive way. So send me a note. I'd be glad to get you registered and glad to get you signed up. We call it Learning Without Squirming. You may ask me what you please, but I'll bet everyone agrees. Through practice, you gain expertise and your job interview will be a breeze.
Thank you very much, Walt. All right, it's time to hear from the career tip of the week. You can check out, there's a new career tip of the week every week on the Career FW or Career USA website. Sometimes there's those little V8 moments. So Rosanna, thank you for being with us this morning, and thank you for sharing it with us.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. All right, happy Friday. This week's tip of the week is dated October the 30th, and it's distinguish yourself by asking 10 questions to impress your interviewer. During an interview, candidates typically answer plenty of questions, but invariably the tables get turned and the job seeker gets to do the asking. Instead of dreading this pivot, consider it a crucial time to distinguish yourself, to help you determine if the role fits you, and to dive deeper into the all-important organizational culture. Always have some questions ready to ask, as recruiters and hiring managers love when candidates have queries. And so career experts can provide valuable insight about what and what not to ask when it's your turn to interview the interviewer. So here are 10 suggested questions. First, I read that your organization, and in parentheses, insert a fact here. Can you tell me more? Ask something like this, which would demonstrate that you've done your research, and it shows that you know snippets of information about the company, but are eager to learn more. Number 2, what are your expectations for this position? Candidates need to know exactly what the potential employer is looking for. From the interviewer's answer, you'll get an idea if you feel like you can achieve that goal. Knowing expectations and sharing similar goals to the company will help you get things in order if you fill the position. Number 3, where do you see the organization in a few years in terms of growth? Or a similar appropriate open-ended question. By asking something that doesn't have a right or wrong answer, you can identify some common challenges. And you can provide the interviewer possible solutions to those challenges, offering you a chance to shine. This also allows you to glean insight into whether you'd enjoy working for this organization. Number 4, how would you describe the work environment? Asking the interviewer for their personal experience with the workplace can often elicit a more in-depth and real-world answer than just asking, what is the company culture? That question is likely to get you in a near verbatim reading of the stated culture and policy rather than the firsthand account from someone who works within it. Number 5, what is the biggest challenge facing the department, team, or organization today? This question can be used to show that you're interested in the employer and its current challenges. And it also allows you to find out whether the other person values what you think will be what they think you will make. Sorry, let me start that one again. This question can be used to show you're interested in the employer and its current challenges. It also allows you to find out what the other person values and what they think will make a big impact. Number 6, what is the typical career path for someone in this role? This shows that you're interested in not just a job, but in a career within this company. It is also a good way to find out about potential advancement opportunities without seeming like you only see the role in question as a stepping stone. Number 7, what are some projects that you are working on right now that I could help you with? The answer may allow you the opportunity to further highlight your skills and what you can bring to the role. Ideally, they say something you have experience with, and this is a way to start a conversation, and you can tell them how you've qualified and can jump right in. Number 8, was there anything done by the previous holder of this position that you really enjoyed and hope continues? When the employee leaves a role, the hiring manager loses the qualities that have made that person an asset. Use the success of the previous employee and build off of it. The hiring manager wants every new employee to be just a little bit better than the previous one. Number 9, was there anything with the job's previous structure that didn't work well? When you take on a new role, you get a chance to make your mark. Knowing what worked and what didn't provides crucial insight to help you avoid any mistakes that were made in the past. And then number 10, how would you describe your leadership style? Leadership styles vary, and it's best to know what you'd be in for. Some bosses are very nurturing, while others are very strictly business. Certain employees work best with specific leaders, and it's best to know up front how this leader is going to work for you and what they prefer for their employees. While these questions will help you shine during the process, avoid asking anything that can be easily learned about the organization, because that would make it appear that you didn't read up for the interview. And then also do not ask questions about time off, health benefits, and salary until later in the process. Asking about vacations before you've landed the job can send the impression that you don't really want to work and can make the interviewer concerned about that you won't be available to work when they need you. Instead, use the time to showcase your skills and talents as you learn more about the job and the company. You also want to interview them. So basically, you guys go out, distinguish yourself, and impress yourself with these questions, and have a fantastic weekend.
Rosanna, thank you very, very much. I hope it's very important when you go for an interview that you've got some questions. So if nothing else, I would take these 10 questions down, put them in a Word document and have them available. You can hopefully you'll come up with other questions, but at least maybe this will be the basis of, a couple questions that you can get asked during an interview.
Mhm.
All right, today for lunch, if you'd like to join us today at 11:45, we're gonna go to Mama's Pizza, 2130 West Parker Road in Plano. It's on Parker, just a half block west of Custer. They've got a pizza buffet, pasta, salad bar, big salad bar, and of course, what everybody's favorite is the hot cinnamon rolls. We keep an eye when a new batch comes out. We all go and attack the hot cinnamon rolls. So come join us today at 11:45. Just a little reminder, Career DFW and the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group are two different organizations. Career DFW is a 501c3 nonprofit that I started almost 14 years ago. And the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group has been around since the late 1990s. And they're a great bunch of people who get together on Friday mornings to share their thoughts and network with each other. The only common thread between the two organizations is that I happen to lead both. If you want to overthrow me and take over the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group, I'll be gladly hand over the reins. But if you want to get hold of Career DFW, you're not going to get those out of my hands. Sorry about that. All right, our main event today will come up in just a couple seconds. We're going to do open forum. We'll talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about in your job search. Just want to talk about some upcoming sessions. Next Friday, how to win over the holidays, master your mindset for success. This is with Dr. Susan Carlson. She's usually with us about this time of the year. The holidays are a great time to network with lots and lots of different people. So if you'd like to connect with those people, and how do you connect with those people, and being sure that you do it the right way, that's what she's going to talk about. You've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, holiday parties, just whatever it is, just consider, how to keep positive and what you should do and explore the possibilities you'll have over the holidays. On Friday, the 11/18, Career DFW is going to turn 14. We actually turn 14 in the middle of that week. But once a year, I do a quick little presentation about what is Career DFW, how did it start? And so I'll do that presentation on the 18th. And then it's hard to believe, but the 25th, the Friday after Thanksgiving, we will not have a meeting. Everybody go enjoy, and we expect everybody will be very plump after eating all your turkey or your tofu turkey, and you just won't want to get out of bed. And so just enjoy that Friday afterwards. All right, what we'd love for you to do is we'd love to see your smiling faces since we're going to do open forum. So if you would, please turn on your video so we can see you. It's okay if you don't have your makeup on. I don't wear any. I don't wear it on Fridays, so that's fine. And I don't expect anybody else there to have it on too. But let us see your smiling faces, because that way it'll make this part of the meeting a little bit nicer. So we're going to do open forum. We're going to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So I'm going to stop sharing so we can see everybody on here. Get my cursor over here. And now we can see everybody out there. So questions. If you've got a question, please unmute your mic and you're welcome to ask away. Lily, I see your mic's unmuted.
I was going to say I don't even own any makeup, so I guess no. So ask me.
All right. Oh,
yeah, okay. I have an interview at 11.
I'll leave this with you all, and you all can just pass it around.
So
question to get us going. Otherwise, this will be a short meeting.
That's my halfway good news, I guess, that I have an interview at 11.
Interview at 11, great.
Very first one for what I'm trying to do. I finally figured out, like, saying what I want to be when I grew up.
Want to tell us what that is?
Yes, thank you. IT auditor.
IT auditor, okay.
Yeah, and my previous boss, 2 jobs ago, who I worked under for 4.5 years, upwards of 4.5 years, and I called him and talked to him and said, I can see you doing that. So, and also my instructor at the 6-month cybersecurity boot camp that I completed through SMU, who was himself an IT auditor with Google, constantly told me I'd make a good IT auditor. So it's about time I took that to heart.
Good. Well, good luck with your interview today at 11.
Thank you. Yeah, it's strangely it said senior IT auditor, but obviously I won't be filling that role. I'll have to somehow talk her into talking her client into scaling it down for fitment, lower level.
All right. So anybody have a question? Something you want to discuss about your job search?
Well, I don't necessarily have a question, but I just wanted to kind of and thank you for having this platform. I really appreciate it. My name is Charmaine, and I've been in a job search for a couple of days now. I left my current position on the 1st of November. So I'm just looking for something more meaningful. I was previously a business owner for 8+ years. Closed my business down, divorced, and now I'm back in corporate America. I went back to school and pursued my bachelor's degree and master's. So now I'm running into a problem where I'm just really not finding a position that's of substance. So my last position was I was a marketing team lead in a call center. Yeah, you can imagine. and that just wasn't not on the level of my education and my experience. So I'm looking out and I want I'm going out the loan analyst because I do have over 10 years of mortgage experience. So I think that'll be more of substance for me. But I'm not getting any callbacks and I'm not getting the interviews that I think that I should be getting. Any advice?
So are you seeing jobs out there that you're interested in?
Yes, I see many jobs that I'm interested in.
Okay.
And I would like to say my resume is good. I've done a lot of research and keywords and things like that, but
So
nothing.
you're filling out online applications. Are you then networking your way into the company?
I sent a few, I'll go to LinkedIn. So after I see a position that I'm really interested in and I apply for it, I go to LinkedIn and I find the human resource manager, and I send them a message. They accept me in their network, but nothing from there.
Suggestions, comments? Anybody? Hold on, here we go. Make sure you turn on the mic.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me on the Zoom call?
Yes, you're
Hi,
good.
okay, good.
Yes.
Hi, so just to give you a little context, if I may, Jeff, my name is Ashik Kaku. I have been a career DFW alumni, participant, alumni again, and I'm always finding a way to give it back, and that's why I came here today. I'm here to pay it forward and just whatever it takes. I have 2 comments, but for sure, is it Charmaine?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Charmaine, hi. So I applaud you for all you've done to this point, and I applaud you for being open and honest to us because that's how we get started. I think that's great on your behalf. So thank you. There's no specific recipe except you need to keep doing what you're doing and show whoever's got you on their list what you specifically said. I would go back to them and keep being persistent to get time with them. Try to find someone in the company because someone getting in the company that you know will be more likely to get your resume to the hiring manager. If you're doing a finance role, I would look at the finance not just the hiring manager in the HR department, but the entire org, from CFO down to senior analyst, and see, do you know anybody? Because just getting your foot in the door is the first step. Then it's for you to market yourself and tell yourself, I'm your candidate. So where I heard you left off that you are now on that person's, she's accepted your, or he or she has accepted your invite. I would
Yes.
then keep reminding her, get some time on the calendar, be assertively polite, okay? Don't step on their toes, but don't hold back. I went into the aspect of this that I need to feed my kids, and I'll do whatever it takes to. I still get emotional, but it's your battle to fight, but you're doing the right thing, and you need to stay positive about it and just keep doing what you're doing. Does that help a little bit? And I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to talk about this with anybody offline, because this is my passion as much as Jeff does for the community, which, I mean, this man has changed lives for 14 years. I feed off of his enthusiasm. So I'm with all sincerity. Now, does that help you, Charmaine?
Oh, yes, it helps greatly. So yes, I need to stay persistent.
Yeah.
And keep at it.
And I can give you my information offline, or however you communicate that.
I'll put it in the email that
That's
goes
great.
out this afternoon.
I would like to bring up
Thank you.
one topic, if I may.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the finance world. I did finance for 20 years for the consumer product space. I was a finance director, a CFO, blah, 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 in the beverage alcohol space. So wine, beer, champagne, spirits. That's what they call beverage alcohol. I moved down from New York in 2014 for a job with Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. I had a $300 million P&L, blah, blah, blah. And in 2018, my job was eliminated. And I was in Dallas. We were here for 4 years. My family was freaking out. And Jeff and his Patriots, the team of this underbelly of the career and transition people, saved my life, with no doubt. I stayed engaged with this group for 2 years at that point and got a job. I couldn't find a good job for myself, so I volunteered for a charity called Wipe Out Kids Cancer. And I did that for 15 months while I was still looking for a full-time job. And I got board member positions. I got secretary. I really loved what I was doing, because I was helping families that had cancer, kids cancer. And then 2 years later, or 15 months later, they assigned me to be the CEO. Resigned of that company, and they asked me to be the CEO. So I was a CEO of a charity called Wipe Out Kids Cancer for 2 years, and it was an incredible experience. We had our best years, blah, blah, blah. This year, I gave up the charity back to the board because it was the right thing to do. I don't want to necessarily get into details, but I did the right thing by my conscience and by the organization's conscience. But I fell on the knife. I was back unemployed by choice. And my wife was freaking out, and blah, blah, blah. And so now I found an amazing mission for financial illiteracy. So people who don't get visibility to financial advisors about how to protect their money, whether it be small businesses or middle managers, or we just don't get on the radar of the financial advisors who are educating the wealthy, or from the wealthy that are learning who know how to manage their money. And the company is called Wealth Wave. And the book that we socialize is a book called How Money Works. It's a 120-page book written for simplicity. And we go to people to talk about this and how to protect these people's assets, so they have money, that these hardworking first-generation businesses that have built this incredible operation, but their money is going down the drain because they have a 0.1 money market where their savings is going. They have an 8% loan on their building, if it's a restaurant, as an example, and a 22% credit card debt. So every dollar they make, they're losing $3. We teach them we educate them humbly, and we teach them how to change that footprint. Now, why am I telling all this? This is a job that anybody can do part-time, spare time, while you're looking for work. I'm learning. I got my insurance license. I'm getting my securities licenses, and I'm going all in for this job because this is my new mission. I thought Wipe Out Kids Cancer was my mission. This is bigger. This is 5 billion people in the world is what we're socializing, has this challenge. And so I go to it with my hair on fire, saying we got to figure this out and help people one at a time. The company, so basically the company is based in Atlanta and they're incredible. They give you a back office training, IT support, and you just have to tell the story. I'm with a trainer right now and she's telling me, you can say up to this, Ashik, and then it goes to her to talk about the rest of the details. It's very protective that I'm learning properly. I'm educating properly. Any one of you that want to just do it while you're looking for your job search, I'm happy to introduce you to it. We have a meeting on Tuesday on East Park Boulevard from 6:30 to 8. I am the most I'm a skeptical New Yorker at heart. So I've been kicking this thing around for 4 weeks to see what's the catch, and there's no catch. This is real. This is the real deal. We're backed by companies like Nationwide, Fidelity, Transamerica, Pacific Life, and the tools that they're teaching us are so sophisticated about how to protect people's funding. I'll say that all for now. I mean, anybody that wants to come, please. This is not a drill. This is real. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, so we'll be sure to put Ash's information into the email I put out this afternoon. So if you want to reach out to him, you'll be able to do so. Charmaine, one other thing I would suggest, when you've you've reached out and you've connected with these recruiters, one of the very important things you need to do is when you see a job that you're interested in, you need to, when you reach out to the recruiter, say, just want to let you know that I am qualified for this position. Can we talk about it? And let them know that you fit the bill for position XYZ, give them the reference number, because you've now, they're going to go take a look at your profile. They're going to take a look at your resume if they have your resume on file and go, well, yeah, this person is qualified. Let me talk to this person. So, take it that extra, that next step of, being a little bit proactive in how you do that. Any other suggestions or comments for Charmaine? Walt?
Yeah, I'd like to add a couple. Charmaine, when you're connecting with someone, think about how many people use a very generic connection. And we want to be different in a very positive way in our connection. So how do we do that? Well, in that message, you say something about maybe the company that attracts you, or a particular job that you're very interested in, or something along the lines of just being different than everybody else, because they get tons of these and it just goes right through one ear and out the other, or one eye and out the other, I guess, today. But nonetheless, say something different, or give them a compliment, or do something that can attract attention. That will say, hey, I'm really interested, and then follow up. Put your LinkedIn address inside of that so they can easily run to you, and find you on LinkedIn. Make it very easy for them to find out information about you. Okay, there's a lot of other things we could talk about, but that's just one tip I could give you.
Okay, yes, and I appreciate all y'all's tips. It's been a long time, and I'm always getting positions that's so off the scale or the radar, I feel, for me. And it's so I'm trying to really find something, and I want to stay there and stay at the company. I'm not a job hopper at all. And I don't know if it's, and even I dumbing down, me being a business owner, I just said project manager for, the business that I had owned and operated. So I even dummy down my position from when I was a business owner. So I'm just trying to think of every way possible, because I think I should be getting a whole lot more calls than what I get. So I don't know. I think that everybody probably feels the same way, and I'm not even going for the position in my degree field. My degree field is logistics supply chain management. And the business that I ran with my ex-husband was a trucking company, which he still owns and operate. And I was the office manager for that. And then I owned and operated my own retail store for 8 years plus. So that's why I studied logistics. And then my master's is in management, of course, but Yeah.
Are you chasing multiple jobs, multiple types of jobs, or one single type of job?
Well, because I have not had any success in the logistics supply chain arena, which I was going after purchasing, procurement, sourcing, things like that. I never gotten a call back. And my target companies was aerospace, pharmaceutical, Bell Helicopter. These are my target companies. Bell Helicopter or Lockheed Martin, and I never did get a call back from any of them.
It's
So
much
now,
more productive. It's just much more productive for you to chase a particular type of role than it is to chase multiple types of jobs.
well, now I've
You can't be
gone back
consistent.
into,
Your LinkedIn won't
Right.
be consistent because it'll say this and you're looking for a different role. And so you've got to be consistent in your messaging.
yes, so now I'm going to pursue loan analysis because
Okay.
I've had a lot of years in mortgaging. So that's where I'm gonna stick to.
Okay. All right, what else can we answer? Or question, Lily, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to applaud Charmaine again for acting so quickly and keep it up. Even if it's, heaven forbid, going to take 2 years for you to get a job like me. Or anyway, also, I've been wanting to share this with the group for a long time. If you've been in the in-person networking groups, you've had a taste what it's like to network in person. I guess if it weren't for my 11 o'clock interview today, I might have shown up in person today. It's really worth it, believe me. And this is no slam for those who haven't shown their faces on video. No guilt trips. I know many more came out in the last 10 minutes or so, but just to say how it helps, I usually show, and another woman once or twice a long time ago, she may have, but she continued to without showing her face. And one day at church, she came up to me and said, aren't you the one who attends those meetings? And so we struck a friendship, and now she's joined my discussion group. And it's the commiserating and supporting in person, nothing to beat it, to do it in person, believe me. And Charmaine, you're welcome to reach out to me. I can tell you more. And I think Career DFW, the calendar may be a good place for you to start. So you take advantage of the events that are posted there. Also may not want to be all over the place like I did right at the beginning in 2009. That can be a mistake. Try to find meetups and in your area. And what you're looking for, is it in the mortgage industry? I didn't get that.
Yeah, so the mortgage industry.
Yeah. Okay,
yes,
but
go
I'll
ahead.
tell you why I asked, because there's this recruiter from Robert Half. Actually, he's an account manager, I guess, and he was at this networking meeting I went to a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I'm not even going near any of them because not the right time. They aren't hiring. So, I mean, this may be the good time to even make a transition, switch careers. And if you're not aware of it, I'm thinking it's still available. The WIOA, they call it. They'll fund you for, I know you probably might feel I've had way too much school already, but seriously, it's worth considering. And
Right. Lily, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ken, you put a comment Ken Grattan put a comment in here. I used question number 5 today. I felt that was a good question. Can you talk a little bit about, how your interview went?
No, it actually went well. And I had seen that question in some of your other materials on the website. And so I use it, and they're like, oh, wow, that's a really good question. And so we just opened up some more dialogue as like what they experienced. And then I expounded on what they said in my experience with the same thing. So it did go well.
Okay, very good. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, what else can we answer for somebody? You need to put your question in the comment field, put it on comment. Anybody here? Question, comment, question? Yeah. Yep, hold on.
Hi, so how do you give a good interview when your interviewer seems extremely unexperienced? I recently had this issue and I was trying to not take the reins away from the interviewer. But I was trying to ask questions in such a, I guess is what I started trying to do is ask questions in such a way that like, hopefully I would have an opportunity afterwards to say my skills, but it was just very awkward.
Somebody want to comment about that? Yeah, go ahead, Ash.
What was the role of the interviewer?
It was a regulatory affairs position, small company.
And was it as an information with someone in HR?
You've got the
was-
mic.
Was it an informational interview or was it first interview? Okay. And could I?
Yeah,
make
go
my
ahead.
suggestion? So what I have learned from this group and just from experience is the best interview that you have is to make it memorable to the interviewer in a positive way, as Walt said earlier. The way to do that is to try to have them do most of the talking. And that didn't work. And that's great. So the fact that you asked the questions, that's the right approach. And then if you are on the fence about taking the reins, take the reins because you own that time and it's your time to market yourself and to make yourself memorable in a positive way. And so you did a great job by starting to ask the questions. Just take it one more step so they know that they've talked about themselves the entire time. They'll remember you better in that sense.
And I think you said it was sort of like a preliminary informational interview. Well, in that case, the object is to get them to talk,
Right.
to find out what kind of issues they're having, what do they need to do? And then hopefully towards the end, they say, well, tell me about you. So, yep. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, for everybody here, if you will, please try to grab the mic because that way everybody online we've got almost 20 people online who
Oh,
can all
sorry.
hear us.
So no, I feel like I know all about them very well. I know the problem in depth. I feel very comfortable moving forward. I just don't know if they feel comfortable moving forward because I don't feel like I got to really, reiterate my experience very well besides what they've seen on my resume. And I managed to fish a few things in there.
Right, right.
To say
How did you close that session?
How did you close the interview or the information session?
At this point, I just remember asking about next steps. Like when I would hear next, and then they said that they had some more interviews to do and then an audit next week. And then I would hear possibly by the end of the week. Before that, it all seemed super positive. So I don't know.
So is this informational interview turning into a hiring interview?
I have no idea. I thought it was just posted. It said preliminary interview on the Zoom invite I had.
Who scheduled the interview?
The person I would most likely be working with, who was, I guess, their QA manager, and then the VP was also in the meeting.
Okay, then I technically call that a job interview. You may be getting information in that interview, but they're in charge. Okay, it's their
Right.
interview.
Those are the two people I'd be working the
Right.
most with. Because like I said, it's a small company. So the VP
Okay.
was doing all the regulatory affairs stuff and was like, it's just getting way too much for me. So it's a new position as well.
One of the phrases you might use, because I like to stay on their agenda, but I also might try to change their agenda. And it says, would it be all right with you if we, and then you talk about discuss this area or talked about this or whatever it might be. So they give you permission. And that way you can kind of control the content, what you want to talk about, but you're asking permission to do it rather than just taking over the interview.
Okay.
Any other comments, suggestions? So what kind of follow-up? So you sort of left that you hope to hear from them in a few days or in a week or so.
In a week, because they said they could be pretty busy with an audit next week. And from what I gathered, they probably will be. They seem to like they could use a little bit more organization.
All right.
They're always busy. They're always busy doing something else, no whether it's an audit or something. And so you'll end up wanting to contact them back.
Right. I was
They
gonna
find
send
that time
a
for-
thank you note today. It was late yesterday, so I just haven't gotten around to it yet either. I mean, I guess I had stuff to do too.
Do you know where they're located at?
Yes.
Hand write it and hand deliver it. Just drop it off.
Okay.
Something different. Everybody loves open mail. I mean, that would be, that's, something different.
Okay.
The other option is if you want to handwrite a thank you note, take a photo of it and include that in the email instead of just
Okay.
sending a thank you email.
Okay.
You could
I
even,
can think about that because it's a bit of a drive and I have a lot of
Okay.
this stuff scheduled, I guess,
Right.
because there's 2 job fairs on like Monday and Tuesday and
okay, well, put it in mail, put it in US mail, take a picture of it, email it to them, and
Okay.
then drop it in the US mail today, and they'll have it Monday or Tuesday.
okay, I can do that.
Everybody loves to get mail. Or if
Okay.
you want to make it a cheesy event, you can put a cheese pizza, attach it to a cheese pizza and say, I know this is cheesy, but, thank you for the interview. I look forward to coming and helping you.
Yeah.
So,
Something that I've done in that situation, and especially like Ash, I'm actually a returning alumni. This is my second round that just started officially this week. But when I was previously out looking and interviewing, it was during COVID. And one of the things that I had really good success with was actually sending a video thank you note to the person or multiple people I interviewed with. And for me, this did a couple of things. I mean, you're not in this category, but if you are an older person, then it gives them the impression that you're comfortable with technology. Very few people do it. And what I got a lot of comments. In fact, one of the people that I sent it to called me and said, I've shared this around the office because we've never gotten a video thank you note before. And they got a real kick out of it. And I did actually end up getting a job. I don't think just because of the video, but I would say, especially if the 2 people you met with, if they work remote 90% of the time, no, they are in a location. Oh, here.
Oh, sorry. They're in a office and it seems like the VP likes to do everything the paperwork way and the QA person wants to switch to everything being more electronic. So I have one of each. As I said, I figured out a lot about them.
So how long, David, how long was your video that you made?
So Jeff, what I found with the videos is if you make it too big, then you can't often attach it to an email or it won't go through somebody's screen. Mine were probably 1.5 minutes or less. And what I tried to do is thank them for the interview, mention something that we talked about in the interview that either they offered up that I thought was really helpful or something that I wanted to reiterate. And I found that I could do it very quickly. I have other equipment, but I found my iPhone was the simplest and easiest way to do it. And I have a little stand I put it on. But if you're not doing that, I would encourage you to at least consider it, particularly if the group you're dealing with is remote. You don't know where they are. You don't know if they're going to be in the office. I absolutely agree that the handwritten email is great. But I think if everybody has scattered from the office and they haven't returned, there's a really good chance the mailroom is not going to deliver a thank you note to somebody that is several miles from the office. So I think you can end up not getting a connection if you do it that way, although the photocopy and the email is great. And if you're more comfortable with that, I think that's fine. But I wouldn't necessarily in the 21st century discourage the video, especially because it's really not that hard to do. And it's a great way to get your visual connection back in front of the person that interviewed with you.
And you can also, did you ever try using Zoom just to record with? Because you can record, even with the free version of Zoom, you can record to your computer. Zoom does a pretty good job of shrinking the file down as small as possible. And if you had it down to, 1 minute, I would think that would be really attachable.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I've not used Zoom, but yeah, if you're thinking about doing it, I would definitely consider that. I found some of the other options, the file size was too big, even if it was really short. So if you use like a video production software, you may find that it packs in a lot of high quality things that you probably don't really need. And that's why I found that the iPhone at sort of a minimal quality or mid quality level seemed to do really well. Plus, I can also just put it right into my email from the phone. So I don't have the issue of trying to get it from the phone to the computer and then somehow, well, not somehow, I mean, obviously then you can upload it, but it's an easy way to get a video back to somebody. And I think particularly if you're over 50, it's a great way to let them know that you actually do know how to turn on a computer, and you actually do know how to use an iPhone, and you actually do know how to use software. As ridiculous as that sounds, some of you know what I'm talking about.
Right. All right, Charmaine, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you for circling back around to me. And it's really crazy that he just said that, because I've been thinking about having a website and make a video and put it on my website. And I'm seeing a lot of suggestions with doing that as well. Do you think that that'll be a good idea for me to do?
Well, I think what would probably be even more effective would be, do you have a one-page bio?
No,
No, okay.
no.
I would say a one-page bio is the tool you want to use as a networking tool, because you want to be able to
Mhm.
tell somebody who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. But when you send out a when you send out a resume, you're screaming, hire me, help me, I need to find a job. Where a one-page bio is something, it's a great networking tool to tell somebody, oh, I'd like to connect with you. Here's my bio. I'd like to find out more about what you do. I think it's a great way to network. Starting a website, how are people going to find you on your website? I guess
Well, no, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk. So what I've been researching was you make your website and put the link in when you're reaching out to, like I'm reaching out to the people here in, HR when I apply for a job. So you just put your link in there and they click on the link and it takes you to your website. But I like his the guys who just spoke. I like his idea as well. So the thank you, that's the thank you. But yeah, I was thinking about doing that too.
I think the problem with a generic video about who you are is that you have to decide who do you want to be and what do you want to do. Like Walt said, you can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You've got to decide, this is what I'm going to focus on. So what do? You have 5 or 6 videos, each one a little bit different as far as what you want to look for, and you send the right link to the right person depending on what they are. There's a person I know, and she's very adamant about, I will never send a resume to anybody until I've had a conversation with that person to know exactly what they're looking for, because I want to make sure I address the concerns that they're having. So I think you've got to be very careful when you just sort of send out generic resumes. If you haven't customized them, I think that can be a very tough thing to do.
Yeah, and I have as of yesterday, I sent, I redid my resume again and just customized it to loan analyst. So I'm focused on this one, position, and I'm gonna just go for it.
Okay.
So yeah, thank y'all.
Any other questions? What else would you like to talk about? Walt?
Little tip on your resumes. I'll suggest a PDF format when you send out your resumes, because my printer won't print it out like your printer prints it out.
Yep, that makes a big difference. Yes, Alexandra.
Good morning. I apologize. I'm still trying to learn how to get my video to work on Zoom. This is like my fourth, I guess, career connection, networking, that kind of thing. And I still haven't quite figured that out. So hopefully next time I will be able to do so. My question is, as far as interviews, because I have not had one in such a long time, how do we know when masks are required when it's an in-house interview? Or are interviews mostly online now? I'm fairly unfamiliar now.
I think the answer is yes to all of the above. I don't think you know. I think you need to ask. If you're going for an in-person interview, you need to ask the person, can you tell me what what kind of requirements and what are you all doing there? Because I want to make sure to do things. And yes, a lot more videos, a lot more interviews are being done online, especially the preliminary ones before they decide to bring in the final 2 or 3 people. So sounds like you maybe want to conduct you want to reach out to the PIC crew, dallaspiccrew@gmail.com, and do a practice interview, because this will be a great way to sort of practice your skills to sort of get back in the routine of doing things. But you just need to ask. I mean, when a recruiter, when somebody says they want you to come in for an in-person interview, you need to ask them, well, who am I going to be meeting with? Tell me what the dress code is like. Do I need to wear my mask or not? And, just to be prepared. I mean, I always take a mask whenever I go places. I have them. I don't, I wore it yesterday when I went to the grocery. I don't have one on here today. But there is, of the 6 people that are here, 1 person here today does have a mask on, and that's fine. We're all being cautious.
Okay. And I took your effective resumes course yesterday, and that was the first time that I've ever heard about a 1-page bio. So I'm also, I went online and found the book Be Sharp that you recommended as well. So I'm going to take a look at that. Hopefully that can really help me out. So I'm really starting, from the foundational scratch, so to speak.
And if you want to email me, I have several other templates. There was a presentation given last Thursday, a networking presentation, and she talked a lot about the 1-page bio. So you may want to go back and watch that video. I can send you that link, and I can send you those handouts. And there's 5 or 6 different bios that are attached to that may be of interest. So just send me an email this afternoon. When you get, you get it from me, just reply back and I'll send you those details.
Okay. Which email did you want me to send to? Is it the resume email that you mentioned?
That'll be fine. Send it there and I will, yes, just tell me what you're looking for though. So I know when I check that account, I know what you're looking for to send back the right documents.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yes, go reach out to the Dallas PIC crew. Reach out to Walt Glass about interviewing. I mean, it is, Walt gets you set up for a good interview because he really makes you think about it, and then sign up for a practice interview that's totally free. It's a great experience. The interviewers, as an interviewer, I learn as much as the interviewees do, just because it's just great to hear how people respond to things. And it's a great way to practice and be prepared. You just can't do it cold, because you are not going to be ready to do that. What else can we answer for somebody? Yes.
Morning, Jeff. I actually do have a question, but
Okay.
before I do that, I want to just touch on a piece of, I guess we would call it housekeeping. I noticed that on the comments, somebody mentioned that they had several connections at Acosta. And Anthony, I believe that was a company that you had mentioned as a target company. So in the room, we don't actually have the ability to go back and review the chat. So if that was you, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand and say, this is who I am. But if you would, when the list comes out with email, if you would mind, or if you would, send Anthony a message and let him know that you've got those connections at Acosta. And that way he can look through those and see if there's a way for that to benefit him. I think that's one of the best things about being a part of groups like this, is that when you do have that opportunity, you do want to follow up on it. My question, and this is actually one that comes from a lot of things that are in the news right now. There's been a lot of discussion about the future of work is going to be more freelance, more contract, more things like this. And I actually feel like for myself that my next opportunity could likely be a contract position. So I've been trying to focus my efforts that direction. I wonder, are there unique differences to pursuing a contract position, or do you do the same things, the same networking techniques? And I wonder if anybody has had any success with maybe approaching it a certain way, or asking, maybe reaching out to a particular group to make that happen.
Anybody out there done contract work and want to talk about it? How'd you approach it? Anybody? Jane, go ahead.
I've been contracting for several years now, and one thing that I would add to your your approach is to network with a lot of recruiters, people who hire for contract agencies, because sometimes an agency that I've worked for years ago, they'll remember me because I've stayed in contact with them, and they'll have another opening and say, I think this might be a good fit for you. So that's one thing I would do, is add more contract recruiters to your networking.
Thanks, Jane. I appreciate that.
Anybody else have any comments about contracting?
Hey, Jeff, it's Rosina.
Yes.
I've been doing contracting, or RPO, which is recruitment process outsourcing. So that's the contracting piece of recruiting, but I've been doing that for the last 7 years. And I don't remember who was actually speaking in person.
David.
David. Oh, David Carey?
Yes.
Okay. I would suggest looking at consulting firms or firms that specialize in the type of work that you're doing. So what I thought I heard you say was you were looking at like Salesforce for an opportunity. But if there's a specific type of work that you do, look for the consulting firm or agency that specializes in that type of work, and then target them, reach out to them and ask them, hey, are you guys doing contracting? If so, I'd like to, submit my resume for opportunities that may come up in the future if you don't see anything on their website, because sometimes they don't always post opportunities directly on the website. They may be working something that they just got in, or that they need a quick turnaround on, and no time to post it. They'll just start reaching out to their network. So
Anna, when you've done this, have you sent your resume, or do you send a bio?
it's a combination of both. So I work for a company called Resource Global Professionals. I've worked for Manpower Group Solutions. I've also worked for Korn Ferry. All three of those are global consulting firms where they do RPO work. And RPO is basically where, as a recruiter, I would be, the first part of this process is the consulting firm is going to receive some type of request, and it's a paid request. They don't talk to me until they've already gotten contracts in place with the employer. But basically, the employer would say, I need either an individual or I need a team of people to come in, act like my recruiting team, my HR team, and then here's what I need. And so all of that's going to be put into a contract with the consulting firm. Then that firm is going to reach out to anybody who's already connected with them, or they will reach out to new people. So there are still talent acquisition people that are going to reach out, sourcing through LinkedIn to find candidates who could fill whatever this request is. And so then the process would be, all right, we're going to we would like to receive your resume. They'll get your resume. They will work it up under in a format that shows, like, say, for instance, RGP. They have a particular template where they're going to put all your skills kind of around the outside edges of a 1 or 2 page document. And then everything that would sell you for this role is pretty much the bio, that's the meat and the potatoes of the center part of the section. And that's what, because it has RGP on it, that's what they're sending over to the client saying, here's one of my top candidates for this role, or here's the team and each person's bio. I don't want to call it a bio, but it's a combination of a bio and a resume all in one. But they send that over, and then when the employer says, yes, I want this team or I want this individual, then you go on an actual client meeting. So that's your interview with the employer. If they select you from what you've now said during the interview, then that's when you would start the project. But it's still an interview process. And yes, there is the opportunity where you may or may not get that job because of what you've said in your interview or how well you've prepared for that client meeting. But there's a coaching process. There's lots of videos to help you get prepared for the client meeting, things like that. But RPO or any type of agency or global consulting work, you will make more in salary, more in money, financial income, than you would in a traditional position. So the challenge in coming back from that is when you try and come back into regular corporate America, you've made so much more than what they typically offer. That's going to be your sticking point. But that's kind of that's just a high level overview of how that works.
I appreciate it. That's actually one of those problems I wouldn't mind having for a little while. I think my primary goal is just being open to other channels of opportunity to try to get back into the workforce. But that's very, very helpful. Thank you so much.
I was just saying, I would love to connect with you. Is it David, Carey?
Yes.
Okay, I would love to connect with you because I have a friend who actually works at Salesforce, and I heard you say that at the very beginning that you were looking for somebody over there.
I did. That'd be fantastic as well. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
I'll add Salesforce to your list of what you wrote down here. All right, what else can we answer for somebody? Questions, comments, suggestions? Bill, I know you had your hand up at one point. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, yesterday I was on the call about resumes, and I talked about changing it to match the scanning systems. How long should that take when you're comparing? Because I went ahead and tried the job scan thing to try and get it to match up. It took a long time. I mean, it took me like an hour and a half to get to like 65-70% taking my resume. What I did is I took a job description, my resume, and then to get to that, even to get to 70%, it took me forever. Am I just horrible in English, or what's wrong with me?
I mean, I think like I said, nobody's going to get in the 80s or 90s when you're using job scan, but hopefully what you've learned is, it's the keywords and it's getting those. When you fill out an application online and you submit something online, you have a 2% chance of getting a phone call.
Right.
So, if that's all you're doing, you're filling out those online applications, unless your resume is spot on with what they're asking for, you're not going to get that phone call back.
Yeah.
So that's why we always say, yeah, fine, you need to go do it because for legals, the HR department's got to do it because that keeps them in business. But sorry, you HR people. But
no, it's okay.
But you still, the next step is who can I find and network my way in? Because if I can get someone to take my resume or my bio and hand deliver it to somebody in HR or the hiring manager, you then get bumped up to almost 50% chance of getting that phone call back.
Right.
And doing that. I mean, I did this once back when people read a newspaper. I actually filled out I saw a job that I thought, oh, this would be perfect for me. I filled out the online application. Then I went to LinkedIn and I saw that there was a member of the North Dallas group who I knew who had a connection. They had a first, so I was a secondary connection to that person at a company. And I reached out to the person I knew here at the North Dallas group. He said, oh yeah, I know that person. The guy was located in North Carolina. He was in sales person there. By 6 p.m. that night, the salesperson contacted me, said, yeah, what can I do for you? And we talked and I sent him my resume. The next morning, about 9:30, you get a text message from him, just dropped your resume off with the hiring manager. And about a half hour later, the hiring manager calls me, oh, I just got your resume here, let's talk.
There you go.
If
Yeah.
you can get, if I hadn't applied, I wouldn't have known to go look for the company, but yet networking is the way you're going to find a job. I mean,
Sure.
80%
Oh, yeah.
of jobs are found through networking.
Yeah.
And, it's how can I get my resume? And if you can get
Front of
your
the right
resume to
person.
go up 3 or 4 times on the hiring manager's desk or in the HR department, and it's coming from these different directions, they're going to call you. At least gives you the opportunity. Then it's up to your interviewing skills, how well you're going to do it. So I don't think you're bad at English. I just think that it's analyzing the job description and making sure that your resume is as clean and simple.
Yeah.
And you only talk about what's in the job description. Everybody here has done a lot of really great things over their career, but if they don't ask for it in the job description, you don't need to tell them about it because you're trying to make that match.
Maybe you start with a blank page or something. Maybe that'll speed it up. And of course, I was also doing it in the evening, so maybe my brain wasn't, I'd already cut off the caffeine for the day. So who knows? But I just thought, after doing that last night, I said, let's try this. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a beatdown,
Right.
Because I've tailored the resume sometimes without it and gotten through. And yeah, I'm using networking too. So, I've gotten some good interviews and, we're moving along, just kind of stalled right now too. So, which I know is part of it, but I'm hanging in there.
So Bill, when you send in your resume, do you also put a cover letter in there?
Sometimes if it allows, a lot of the companies where I've networked in, I get sent to their site and then you're pretty restricted to, whatever program they use. You can upload your resume in there, you try and send it. If I've got a name, then typically I might send that cover letter and the resume PDF if I get a name and an email address,
Right.
in addition to the online circus, as I like to call it, because sometimes those online ones take you 2 hours to fill out too.
Yeah.
With all
Right,
of
right. And those are the kinds of things you need to do at night and early in the
Right.
morning. And spend your daytime hours between 9 and 5 talking to people if you can reach out and talk to somebody. I saw
Right.
people shaking their heads about, no, I don't send out cover letters. Think about a cover letter, because if you use, there's something called a T format cover letter, T format, where on the left-hand side, you list like 3 or 4 bullet points of here's what you had in your job. Here are the 3 or 4 things in your job description that are important. And then on the right side of the letter, so that's the T, one side one side the other. You say, here's what I've done. You do one line about everything. You're looking for X, I've done X. You're looking for Y, I've done Y. And you put just a little statement there to make it easy for somebody to go, yeah, this is what I'm looking. Yes. Okay. Because sometimes there's a lot of times I'll see people's resumes and it doesn't tell me the things that you could tell me that have you really met the requirements of what I'm looking for. So not everybody will take, and a T cover letter shouldn't take you that long to do, especially if you're digesting and analyzing the job description, because when you analyze the job description, you should be highlighting, here are the 3 or 4 most important things that I think they're looking for. And then here's what my experience. So right there, you've already gotten your details as far as what you needed to put it together. So consider a T cover letter. If you need the formats, once again, email me. I'll be glad to send you. I have 2 different formats, 2 different T cover letter formats that you can, take a look at. You can just Google it if you want to and find those documents online, just to say how it is. One of the other things that I used to do when I would send my resume in via PDF, as Walt suggested, the first page of my PDF was my cover letter. The second page of my PDF was the first page of my resume, and the third page of the PDF was my second page of my resume. That way, my resume and my cover letter went
One document.
and went as one document. So yeah, those people who have the software can split that up and erase it, and no, a recruiting firm doesn't want to see that because they'll strip that stuff out and they want a Word document or something. But at least I knew that my cover letter was going, even if the HR person then passed it on to somebody else, the cover letter would go along with it. So it's something you may want to try.
Thanks. Great.
All right, let's see. I saw a question in the chat window here. Jane says, does anybody actually read cover letters? You know, I think here's the numbers I've heard lately. Less than 50% of recruiters will look at it. And it depends on what kind of recruiter it is. If it's a recruiter, an in-house recruiter working at a company, they have 50 or 60 jobs they're trying to fill. They don't have time to do that. If it's a retained search, if it's an outside recruiter, so they don't get paid until they place you, it may be a benefit. They may read it because they may spend a couple more seconds looking at it. They won't ever submit your resume. They won't ever submit your cover letter, but they may reach out to you because of it. If it's a retained search consultant, meaning that it's just one guy, one person filling a job, I think you have a better chance. Well, they're going to reach out to you. So in that case, you're not ever going to submit a job to a retained search consultant who's trying to replace that. I also have heard that, yes, recruiters may not read your cover letter, but the hiring manager will spend the time looking at your resume in more detail. So if you have it, if it gets to the hiring manager, you have a better chance of them maybe getting it. So if you can get your resume through the back door into the recruiting, into the hiring manager, possibly, you have a chance of somebody reading that document. Alexandra says, are there any free products that are easy to use if I don't have access to Microsoft Office? There's Google Documents. There used to be another, there was another program that came out a few years ago. LibreOffice, is that what it is? It's it's an open source software. Libre, L-I-B-R-A, I think, Libre, L-I-B-R-E maybe, LibreOffice. If you Google it I downloaded it at one point and it was really nice. I mean, because, you know, it didn't have all the full features of Microsoft Office, but if you just need something for word processing, it works just great. You know, and their Excel spreadsheet was good. It wasn't as good as Excel. But you could do the basic stuff if you're trying to keep track of companies and, you know, keeping track of what you're doing. The basic program worked really well. Ash?
Local libraries sometimes offer computer time and also have software on the computer that you can use if you want to leverage they've bought all the licenses and they'll have those tools.
Right. Yeah. If you don't have a library card, I highly recommend getting a library card. I heard a couple of people say they don't have any target companies. You need to have target companies. How do you find target companies? There's a program out there called, Ken, thank you very much. Ken put in the chat window and I'll put it in the email this afternoon. LibreOffice.org is the free software. So I know I've used it in the past and I thought it's really, really good. If you don't have any target companies, there's a free program out there called Reference Solutions. It's free if you use it through your public library, and it's a great way to find companies, how to find target companies. There are some videos out there on the Career DFW website or the Career USA YouTube channel about how to use Reference Solutions. If anybody wants that link, let me know and I'll be glad to look it up and send the link to you so you can find how to use that program on how to find target companies, because there are a lot of companies out there that we know about some and we don't know about others. What else can we answer for somebody? Yes, Anthony.
Jeff, about 4 weeks ago, you had a speaker and she talked about reaching out to your old connections, and you and Walt gave some great information on that. So over the last 2 weeks, I did exactly that. And yesterday, I reached out to the old connector and I was talking to them, and basically they asked me, finally, they said, Anthony, what do you need? And I told them that I was looking for a job. And that moment we went through and we got on their webpage and we looked at it together. And then she says, send me your resume. I know the director of operation. I'm going to hand walk it over to him and share with him that I have worked with you. And then she called another individual that I knew and let him know that she was connecting both of us together. So hopefully something will come out of that. I just reached back into my network and utilize some people. So I got 3 connections this week that's gonna look pretty good for me.
Great.
So I would suggest that we can do the exact same thing. And I appreciate Jeff and Walt for giving me that particular information.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, one of the speakers we had a few months ago on our networking session said, you already know everybody you need to know. You just need to reach back out to those connections you've had in the past and just reach out to them. If you can find, a great way to do that, if you happen to have their phone number, you can just send them a text out of the blue. Oh, I just going through a photo album and I just saw a picture of you and me when we were, we were at work together, and an old photo of something. Or you take a picture of the photo and send them, say, hey, I just saw, just thinking of you. It's a great way to go back and reach out to people. You'll never know, how people in the past can go and help you in the future. What else can we answer for somebody? This has been great today. We've had a lot of great topics that we've talked about. What else can we answer for somebody? Alexandra, if you're having issues with your camera and you need some help, feel free to reach out to me. We can do a little Zoom meeting and we can try to figure out what's going on with your camera.
Thank you for that, Jeff. Absolutely hilarious too.
Because all we see is a little camera with a slash through it. So, we want to see everybody's smiling face.
Absolutely, I agree.
Anything else we can answer for anybody else? Anybody here? Any questions, comments, suggestions?
Do you have any suggestions, Jeff, on resources on how to take your past experience that may be really small or kind of the common threads have only been within customer service, and how to funnel that in order to figure out your next steps? In other words, you're almost like a transition candidate that maybe you're taking a full shift away from, what is the typical customer service representative into something a little bit more.
I would recommend a session with Walt. I think Walt would be a great being able to help you talk about what it is you want to do and where you want to go. There are other career coaches you can go through, but Walt's, I know his session that he does on Tuesdays, he works with you to try to come up with your selling proposition and why, asking the question. Well, Walt, you can jump in anytime. I know you're keeping your mic off, but
everybody loves to hear me cough, I'm sure. Yeah, the whole idea is, what is it that applies to the new role that you have in the past? And you just want to talk about that. But if you want to give me a call, Shelley, I'll be glad to talk with you a little bit about that.
And we'll put all everybody's phone numbers, all the information I have from everybody, I'll be sure to put in the, I'll put in the email that goes out this afternoon, along with the links that people have talked about in today's session.
And my phone number's on my first page on LinkedIn.
Right. Any other questions, comments, suggestions?
Hey, Jeff, it's Rosina.
Yes.
So I just put in the chat just a suggestion for people. So if you have your target company, or even if you don't and you're looking for a target company, you can use hashtags to be able to find more information. So if you go into LinkedIn and just put in hashtag hiring, you can kind of scroll through to see what companies are hiring. But then you can also look at, I mean, there's the drop down of hashtag hiring, hashtag hiring immediately, hashtag hiring and promotion. I mean, just lots of stuff. Just take a look. But when you click on it, it's going to show whatever person has used that hashtag. So what I suggested is take your target company, put that name in the search field, and then put hashtag hiring right behind it. So no spaces. And then when you hit enter, you're going to see the different company or the different people within that company who's posted some type of a job that they're hiring for. So that's a way that you can find out who, quote unquote, the hiring, maybe a hiring manager or a talent acquisition person who's posted for that company and the job title they're hiring for. That gives you a direct person now to connect to on LinkedIn. And that's where you can kind of reach out to them and send them a personal note saying, hey, I just applied to your position, or, you know, whatever you want to put in the note. Keep in mind, there's a character count, but at least it gives you an opportunity to find the people who are hiring within your target company or the people who are hiring in general, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good suggestion. I'll be sure to copy that. I'll put that in the, I'll put that out in the email that goes out this afternoon also for everybody.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Questions? We're here. We're here. We're all here. All right. Well, if not, we will wrap up here. Let me share a couple more slides and we'll get out of here today. I want to mention next Friday, our speaker will be Dr. Susan Carlson. She's going to talk about how to win over the holidays, how to master your mindset for success. You know, you're going to have all these events coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, maybe company parties, maybe just meeting, you know, alumni associations, whatever, networking meetings, you know, how to get yourself geared up for the right thing. So join us again next Friday for that. If you have not put your introductions into the chat window, please do so. Please, in the Zoom chat window, please put your name, phone number, email address, position you're looking for, a couple target companies, and I'll get all that information out to everybody this afternoon. If I know you've joined us, you'll get an email. If you don't let us know who you are, you won't get an email from us this afternoon. Career DFW, Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us next Tuesday for LinkedIn Tuesday. Terry Sullivan will be with us to talk about how to create a LinkedIn brand. It tells your key contacts who you are, what you do, and how you can help. The program will not be recorded, so if you want to watch it, you do need to watch it Tuesday live at 1 o'clock Central Time. Next Wednesday, for Interviewing Wednesdays, we're going to talk about building rapport, how to establish chemistry with the interviewer. So you can join us for that next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, being the second Thursday of the month, we'll talk all about networking. Each session, we have a different speaker talking about networking and they're sharing their thoughts. So please come join us for that. Just a reminder, this session has been recorded. You will be able to go back and watch it on the Career DFW Facebook page or the Career USA YouTube channel. On the Career USA YouTube channel, be sure to click on playlist because there's over 400 videos there, but at the very, you know, if you select playlist, there's 7 different playlists. If you then go and pick the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speakers, where you see that red arrow, click on view full playlist. What you can do is you can scroll down and find any of the speakers that we've had over the last couple of years. They're all on there. You can go back and watch them at your convenience. Just know that for the most part, our speakers start about 30 minutes into the recording, because I start recording at 9:30. So about the top of the hour is when the speakers tend to speak. So you'll have to zoom in for the first, but you can just scroll yourself in to be able to go watch any of those videos. Hopefully you'll come join us today at Mama's Pizza, 1145, 2130 West Parker Road. Pizza buffet, pasta buffet, salad, big salad bar, and of course the hot, fresh cinnamon rolls. We will keep an eye and let them know. We'll let everybody know who's there. Oh, I just saw whoever's sitting facing that way is responsible for keeping an eye on that little container. So come join us today at 11:45. So thank you for joining us today, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, and look for my email later this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you.